Morgan Freeman delivered one line that stunned everyone.
You just mentioned there kind of a black actor, and you've spoken in the past about how you don't like the term African American.
No, I don't mind the term African American. I don't want to be called African American.
Why is that?
I'm not African.
While speaking at the Oxford Union, the legendary actor dropped one truth bomb after another and even exposed Hollywood in just a few words.
And of course, Hollywood is colorblind. It only sees green.
That's why today we're breaking it all down. So, if you're an independent thinker, hit the subscribe button and let's jump right into it.
Did you ever face discrimination in your career at the start? Do you still feel that it happens nowadays? I mean, what is your view of the issue of race in Hollywood?
I don't think there is an issue of race in Hollywood. Somewhere back there in the 70s, the decision was made by almost all and sundry that we have to start open casting. Now, if you look on television, you pretty much see the range of cultural, that's not the right word because we all belong to the same culture. Anyway, but you see everybody.
Now, I have to say, whenever an interviewer gets a sit down with a black celebrity, you can almost bet money this question will come up. It's framed as if it's some monumental achievement in itself, completely ignoring that in today's world, success comes down on the same universal formula: determination, hard work, and a little bit of luck. That's why Freeman's comment hits so hard. His answer cuts straight through the noise of identity politics and refused to buy into the endless categories, labels, and checkboxes that keep people divided.
Ossie Davis directed a movie called Cotton Comes to Harlem. It made hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, Hollywood is colorblind. It only sees green. If it makes money, it's a good thing. Therefore, the walls came tumbling down. That started that whole blaxploitation period, might be before your time.
A little bit, about 30 years.
Yeah.
Now, let's clear something up first. Although Cotton Comes to Harlem was a major hit, it didn't end up breaking in hundreds of millions of dollars, even when adjusted for inflation. When it was all said and done, the movie made $5.2 million and became the 20th highest grossing movie of the year. Now, for that era, it was a solid success. And as Morgan mentioned, Hollywood sees one color. That's why this film is widely credited with kicking off a wave of films driven by black stories, made by black filmmakers and aimed directly at black audiences. And remember, this was happening in the middle of the civil rights movement. And the fact that Hollywood jumped in only after seeing dollar signs further proves Freeman's point. But the legendary actor has long understood that success has nothing to do with race. And we've got the perfect interview where he talks about it in detail.
Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't
Today?
or cannot? Yeah.
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. Hey, you and I, we're proof. Why would race have anything to do with it? Put your mind to what you want to do and go for that.
This probably get me in trouble, but I said to some of my colleagues recently, so I know that it's an issue, but it seems like every single day on television I'm talking about race, and it's because of the news cycle, it's in the news, but sometimes I get so tired of talking about it, I want to just go, this is over, can we move on?
And if you talk about it, it exists.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like it exists and we refuse to talk about it, but making it a bigger issue than it needs to be is the problem we have.
The fact that these words come from him speaks volumes. You see, Freeman's life began in the segregated South, at a time when Jim Crow laws weren't just history lessons. They were the reality shaping every aspect of daily life. In a culture that now seems hardwired to filter every achievement, every setback, and every conversation through the narrow lens of race, gender, or background, his take is almost radical in its simplicity. And that's what makes it so powerful. It's not just an actor sharing an opinion. It's a quiet but firm rejection of the idea that our worth is tied to categories someone else invented. Going back to Oxford, that activist student was hell-bent on asking about, quote, marginalized groups in Hollywood, and the next one on the list after race was women.
And I guess staying on the issue of discrimination, I guess, in recent months, years, there's been more and more outspoken actresses talking about the unfair portrayal of women in Hollywood. Do you think that that's fair?
The unfair portrait of women in Hollywood?
They're portrayed in a certain way which objectifies
Well,
them.
wait a minute. Meryl Streep, Kate Blanchett, Julia Roberts, Renee Zellweger, Charlize Theron, Uma Thurman, Nicole Kidman. I don't think there was an unfair portrait of women in Hollywood. If someone thinks differently, we'll talk about that. Nobody does, though, don't they?
Now, at this point, I can't help but feel the interviewer's wording wasn't accidental. The way he dropped the phrase, unfair portrayal, sounded almost designed to guide the conversation towards a specific narrative. But what does that even mean in practical terms? It's a highly subjective matter, and if you ask 10 people in a room for a definition, you'll probably get 10 different answers. Now, it's a clever tactic if the goal is to get the other person to agree with your framing without realizing it. But Freeman isn't exactly an easy mark. And from his facial expression alone, it's clear he understood where this line of questioning was headed. And he wasn't about to be cornered into endorsing a loaded premise.
Do you think Hollywood has a duty to project women in a different way to how society might view them, in a more positive light? Well, not even positive, in a different light.
Hollywood only sees it as one duty. Stay in business. Whatever that takes. So they don't get on a social high horse and go, running through the bushes. We make movies to make money to make movies. That's bottom line.
That's really what it all boils down to. And we're watching it unfold right in front of us. After years of putting one woke box office flop after another, Hollywood executives finally realized the virtue of signaling was hurting their bottom line. Now, there's been noticeable shifts. Recent films are steering away from heavy-handed messaging and focusing more on somewhat compelling stories and characters, the way movies used to be made. And surprise, surprise, the revenue charts are starting to climb again. Let me know in the comments your thought about this story. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, keep thinking.